Yeah. Up in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Viber got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra's the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Viberville. Hope you had a great weekend. One day back to the grind. And since alt season never happened, since we had basically a Bitcoin run up, you know, a few altcoins did really well. I'm not complaining, but overall, we just didn't see that macro alt season that we expected. But I think we've never seen a bear market heading into QE before. And these last couple months have really not made me change strategy, but I've really went hard in different areas of crypto and kind of pivoted from, you know, holding some different altcoins and DeFi plays and AI plays. Well, I've consolidated pretty much all of that into stuff that pays me back passive income. And we're going to talk about that stuff tonight because there are so many opportunities that when you get in early, that's where all the money is made. You find stuff before the herd, before the mainstream talks about it. And tonight we're going to talk about 5 different plays that I think are just must-haves for this cycle. So let's take a look and see at the bubbles. Man, that is just ugly. Nothing doing well. Looking out and zooming out on the week, yeah, it looks okay, but go on the month and on the year, it's almost worse. So in the last month, Canton's doing well, which I don't know, hopefully some of you guys got into, but if not, I mean, you know, we got it at just under 7 cents, but it's already number 17. So how high can this thing really go? You know, to 100 billion, do a 15x and get to a couple bucks. I mean, that's it. But at least feels good to be in a winner. And look at Dovu doing real well on the year, still up a couple 100%. But I think everything is due for another leg down where it all revolves around our favorite Bitcoin. And what we were talking about last stream is this move right here. That it looks like it's playing out very, very similar. And if it does, we're like right here. So maybe we get a little relief rally and then one more leg down. And that's what I'm expecting. A little bit of chop maybe. And one more leg down. Even like Hedera and some altcoins on the RSIs are extremely overbought. So it looks like everything's going to come back down one more leg. But you know what? That's all right. Because the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight, it gives me an opportunity to come in and buy more of it. Serena, hello. Good to see you. Hope everything is well. We're going to talk about PTGC too. I think that's one of the coins that are must-haves. But, you know, the market revolves around Bitcoin, unfortunately. And hopefully that changes. I think it will this year at some point. I think utility is going to matter. Some narrative is going to come along where a different blockchain gets popular, and eventually something surpasses Bitcoin. They're talking about AI projects that are going to be billion-dollar companies overnight. Well, if that's the case and AIs are going to be doing this stuff, I think Bitcoin's days are numbered, and that'll be a good thing. You're just looking at the RWA.XYZ, everything is just growing constantly. Debt, commodities, private credit, institutional funds, corporate bonds, non-US debt, public equity, real estate, actively managed strategies. We're up to now 24 billion, and add structured credit to this and private equity. So everything's growing, guys. It's not going to stop. We talked about it a lot before. What's going to be the catalyst that brings the money in? It's going to be legislation. I listened to a really, really good podcast a week ago with the Canary Capital CEO. He was saying that the banks and hedge funds and the whole industry, they know where this is going. But in order to actually make change and do it right, you need to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into the space. And people are not going to do that if the risk that in 3 years from now, Gary Gensler comes back into office and they crack down on everything. So until there's laws in place that guarantee a significant investment or a significant allocation of capital, until that is not risky or is not an option of being illegal in a couple years, nothing's going to happen, unfortunately. So that made a lot of sense. And you just kind of see everything lining up, especially with Flare and some of the other things we're going to talk about later. Just the timing of it, of all of it, the lawsuit, legislation. And I've been seeing a lot of this on Twitter lately. The IRS should be shut down. Employees owe $50 million in unpaid taxes. And I guess it was on Fox News now. So they're really coming with this tax thing because I think the goal is inevitably to get rid of income tax. It's going to get to a point where the money collected is just going to service interest on debt. And at what point are Americans going to wake up and say, you know what? I'm not paying money that just goes straight to interest on debt. It's not going anywhere productive. What happened to the phrase? Oh, it's just chilling. Can't be wearing it all the time. So it comes out, every couple of weeks it makes an appearance. So yeah, I'll have to wear it next stream for you. But I got DMs, actually, people asking me if I'm actually a Freemason. And no, Lindsay found that hat in her grandma's basement. So I found it after she found it and was like, I'm rocking this. This thing is pretty funny. Crypto fear and greed hits record low despite ongoing institutional push into DeFi. What do you know? The crypto fear and greed fell to 5 on February 12th, its lowest recorded level. Oh my God. The prolonged slide into fear traces back to 10/10, where Binance allegedly caused mass liquidations. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff about Binance being insolvent and rumors like crazy. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't think Trump would pardon CZ if Binance was going to go under. But again, who knows? BlackRock and other major traditional finance players continue to deepen their engagement with DeFi and tokenization and broader real-world asset adoption projects. Retail sentiment and institutional conviction are clearly operating on different time horizons at the moment, a dynamic worth monitoring as markets search for a floor. Well, guys, that's not us. We are the opposite. We have been sharks when this market has been down, buying into the positions that are paying us passive income, that are going to actually be adopted and used at scale, adopted by businesses, adopted by payment companies. The banks are going to be using instant settlement, on-demand liquidity very soon in the future. It's only a matter of time. The current system is broken. There's $27 trillion sitting in limbo waiting to clear. That basically, that money sits there to ensure everything else moving around. If you could free up $27 trillion, your company is pretty dang valuable, in my opinion. That's why Ripple keeps saying they're coming for all the money. Either Ripple's going to change the world and take all the money, or else they're going to fail and do nothing. Solo creators should be sued. I mean, Solo was an airdrop, bro. It was a free airdrop. So I didn't get the OG NFT. I was kind of bummed about that. I've been streaming and randomly and doing stuff about Solo since the airdrops back in the day. And then we got Corium airdrops, and then we got the Pulsera airdrops. I sold all my Corium at like 11.5 cents. Or no, sorry. I sold all my Solo DYNEX at 11.5 cents. And I'm just swapping the Corium for the new TX token. So I'm actually glad that happened, because it allowed me to liquidate a couple $1,000s in Solo DYNEX and reduce my exposure so I could add to more Flare, add a bunch to Phoenix DeFi Hub. I bought more XRP and wrapped it into FXRP. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, anyone that, I feel bad at people that bought Solo and lost money, but like, it was so easy to get the airdrop and then swing trade it, hodl it. And then when it went from like 7 cents to 60 cents, I mean, if you were holding it, you didn't take profits. Like, you got to learn when pumps like that happen, you got to take profits. You got to sell. Unless you're in a raging bull market, a green candle like that is going to get sold right back down. It's been with everything. Tax was eliminated and 0 point energy kicked in. I wouldn't need crypto. Yep. That's the goal where I want to get to, bro. You're ahead of me. Like, I want to have a whole farm. I want to have a supply chain with like meat and organic food, multiple farms around the country that are within like a 4 or 6 hour drive, and then actually start making a difference. That's the real power, and doing it yourself. Kevin O'Leary wins $2.8 million defamation judgment against BitBoy. What do you know? Florida judge awarded Kevin O'Leary a default defamation judgment as BitBoy failed to mount a legal defense. Former crypto influencer BitBoy. Oh, never mind. Harvard cuts its Bitcoin ETF position, but starts one for Ether. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So everybody knows Bitcoin's a Trojan horse. There's going to be a huge shift in the market. We're all front running that. We're crushing it. But Steak and Shake sales jump after accepting Bitcoin payments. Who in their right mind is going to trade their Bitcoin when it's down here at 60K for food? I mean, I guess people are, but the chain holds 15 million in Bitcoin. All right, so how much do they take in daily in revenue, in payments? They probably take in $1 billion a day across all their stores. So $15 million, that's like 0.015% of people pay. So that's bullshit. I want to see how many people actually they say are using it, or how many payments they took, which they won't. But that's funny. So guys, DYNEX. I thought the KYC process had opened up. I said that on stream, but I was wrong. I actually went and checked on this DYNEX Paragon. And what this is it's like, it's a participation program created to give the community the opportunity to engage more closely with the journey. So basically, you request access, you do a KYC, but you need 100,000 DYNEX tokens. And I don't even have half of that. I almost have 50,000, so I can't do it. So the KYC process, none of that has started for the token migration. I was wrong. It's only for this Paragon program, which is just like an education roadmap, it seems like, for the transition over. So nothing here. We're still hodling our coins. The DEX screener. All the alts. Polytrade, not really doing much. Block V, nothing. Swarm markets, nothing. DYNEX back under 3 cents. I mean, damn, everything's just getting crushed. But Flare's holding around a penny. That's why it's the one thing I keep buying. Like I keep saying, I want to get to a 500,000 Flare. I got a long way to go. I'm more than halfway there, but I still got some accumulating. And down at these prices, guys, like this is going to be huge. So for passive income, that's been my strategy now, is to shift my bags into stuff that is paying me rewards, and I can then take those rewards and do stuff with them. And PTGC has been the OG #1 reflection coin out there on Pulse Chain. It's down 95% or something like that from the bottom. Where is it at? PTGC. Did I not? Oh, wow. I saw. I didn't even have it bookmarked on this here on the new computer. Look at that. Rookie mistake. But here we go. Pete. So look at, yeah, 91% on the year. It's down. $22 million market cap. You know, we're still doing good. I found it at a 40K market cap. So I don't know what we're up. 5X. Like we're still up hundreds of X. It's a lot of money. But I'm still buying more. I swapped a bunch of PDI I still had, Wrap Bitcoin, almost all that stuff. I left a little bit of Tropa, a little PDI, and 0 Wrap Bitcoin. I put it all into PTGC and then UFO. It's other project. But I just think this coin is going to come back and do phenomenal. There's so much money they have in the DAO, in the buy and burn, where the community can vote to buy and burn more tokens or do raffles. Like it's community ran, and these guys have been crushing it. They're super passionate about the project. And Prairie Banana's out here every weekend streaming about it, talking about it. So once the market turns, guys, like this is the time to accumulate. Like these are rock bottom. Like you're not going to get much lower than 98% down or 91.7% down. Like it's a $20 million market cap. For it to drop 50%, like, you know, it would have to just crater. And like you can see, it's holding this floor here. Let's look at it against Wrap Pulse. The chart's probably even better. Yeah, look at that. See, it's doing even better against Pulse Chain. So, like, how much lower is it going to go? If you're hodling Pulse Chain and if you swapped it into PTGC at any point before or any point in 2024, like you're not down money. You're up because you got your reflections. And the fact that it just pays you for holding it, I love it. And then if you want to stake it on the website, you can, and you'll earn more PTGC. So I have like 90% of my bags staked, and I actually got to do the math because there's a 1% fee for unstaking. So I don't know if it's worth staking the rest of my bag, but it's only a little bit more extra. But the fact that I consolidated out of a lot of different coins makes me feel good. Not because, like, that's my #1 rule. Don't sell out of bags that you held. But once it's proven that the holders of Wrap Bitcoin, a guy took over the compound protocol and basically stole a bunch of Bitcoin and is now selling on the market. So I don't want to hold a coin or have people buy something that is going to just give a scammer exit liquidity. And PDI has been minted endlessly into existence. So it was cool while it lasted, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like bad shit's not happening. And it is. So that narrative, like even PAVE, I don't want to hold that anymore because it's tied in with all of it. The only one I hold is PQuant. And I have Uniswap in Staker wallet, which I can't get out because you can't, it won't find it, or I don't even know. So in Pulse Chain, I'm super consolidated. I just have PulseX, eHex, a big bag of Alamo, got some Atropa left. Neon, I mean, it's down so much. I mean, I don't even know what like 3 million tokens is worth right now. $175. So yeah, I'm down a bunch on this. Like I bought a bag and staked it at like up around here. I saw this dip and I was like, all right, right here. So 001, I'm down 50%. 50%. So I put in like almost $1,000 into this. So I'm wrecked on Neon. But I did good on P Tiger and Alamo to get most of it back. And I didn't buy more. Oh yeah, A1A I'm holding too. Oh, Ave, I'm not holding. Let me get that off the watch list. And the fat bag of MORPH. So I'm really consolidated on Pulse Chain, which makes me feel good. I don't want to hold too many bags. Really, it's a scammer in the community holds over $1 million of the token. So if you buy the token, you're putting liquidity into the coin for him to dump on and sell. And it just gives money to a scammer. So to me, it's dead. I would never touch it again. So that's why, like, besides the cores, Inc., PulseX, and eHex, I don't hold any Pulse Chain because PulseX has been crushing it. You know, I hold P Tiger as my favorite meme. And then a bunch of PTGC UFO. I got like $1,500 in A1A. And then I got a shitload of Morpheus that is our project that I bridged over from ETH. But like, that's it. I'm out of almost everything. So the next project, Stellar, guys, everyone's sleeping on it. Stellar is, I could say its origins came from the NSA too, just like Ripple. It's been around since 2014. They've been doing nothing but building, nothing but making partnerships with the biggest institutions and corporations in the world. And Phoenix DeFi Hub has been printing. All right. It's whole 1.17 right now to Stellar. The ratio of these tokens, when you're in a liquidity pool paying you 70%, they always drop down and they dilute and inflate and lose value to the coin it's paired against. It's been holding nicely. It's been range bound from like 1.25 up to like almost 1-to-1. And that's incredibly bullish. So I doubled my pool. So I have almost $925 in this pool now. And every day I'm getting almost 10 Phoenix tokens. And the way it works, oh, it's not going to show. Sorry. So when you put your money in the pool on day one, you make like you're earning 1%. On day two, it's like 2%. Day 5, it's 7%. On day 21, it's 25%. So I have 4 stakes that are anywhere from 4 days old to 25 days old, along with the one that's 400 days old, that's earning the max. So right now I'm getting 10 Phoenix tokens a day. It'll probably be almost 12 once those are up to full value. And 12 Phoenix tokens is about 10 Stellar. So that gets me about 25 Relio or 300 VELO every single day. So instead of holding these coins that are just losing value, these are losing value together, Stellar and Phoenix, but I'm earning reward coins that are buying and increasing other bags. Like I already have enough Stronghold, or I'd be adding to that. So like my Stronghold bag is 3 times more valuable than VELO. So that's why I've been adding to VELO with my rewards. So never touching the principal is my goal here, is to let the 400, 500 bucks I just added in the next 3 weeks, once it gets up to like 50, 60, 70%, and it starts paying me up to 13 or 14 Phoenix a day, it's so much better than the other stuff I was holding, just sologenic, doing nothing. Like that's that's where it all came from, is that solo sale. I added $500 to this pool. And then even if when I want to close it out, I'm going to get all that XLM back, which right now, 450 bucks of XLM at, what is it? 10 cents, 15 cents, or no, 15 cents, something like that. It's going to be a lot of money. But the plan is to not touch it. Hopefully this APR stays high. Like I've been in it for 400 days and it has not gotten below 60%. So this is like one of the outliers out here, and I love it. Can I do a vid on QMine? Yeah, bro, I did. I have QMine videos on the YouTube page. If you just go to videos here, how to buy and store QMine. And then this is a Q video here, talks about QMine too. Basically, all QMine does is you buy it and you hold it and it pays you back QUBIC every week. So it's leverage on QUBIC. But that we're going to talk about it in a minute. Actually, that's on the list. I totally forgot. Yes, we will get to that in a second. QMine is the shit. What's having to prove X? Nothing, bro. I don't think I hope it doesn't come out for 6 months. I think he better launch this in the bull market. He can't afford to have another project come out and be a dud. It has to go up in price. So I think he's going to launch it, hopefully not for months. Like just because he put beta mode out, he never said anything about a launch date. So I hope it doesn't come out, like I said, until the bull market. PWB, same as PDI. Yeah, bro. The PDI narrative is dead. I was all about it. I really thought it was Richard at some point. It had to be him. But once certain facts come up, if you can't change your mind, you're either over invested into it and you're married to it and you can't afford to even think it's not going to $1. But once it came out that the people are basically scammers and they were lying to a bunch of people, I got out of it, bro. Like, I'm not supporting these assholes. And I like P Tiger because the Tiger's going up against the cabal and talking shit to the scumbags, and they're starting to back down. DYNEX will scroll there, so just hold. Don't need to mine. No, you don't need to do anything with QMine. Once you buy it, you just hold. So QMine right now, it's 4.6K. 44584. So if you want to buy it, you connect and you put 4584 and then however much you want to buy, 1,000 of them, 10,000, whatever. And then every week it pays you back QUBIC for holding it. But it's starting to get expensive now. Like, you know, we were in this I was buying it down at 290 down here. And then I bought all of it by 1,500. I had 95% of my bag, and I bought a little bit more before the pump right here when it was down at like 2,900 here or 26,700. I bought like another 50,000 and that was it. So like I'm maxed out. I'm QMine, and because I got so much so cheap, the fact that I'm getting like almost 2 million or no, yeah, it was like 1.5, 1.6 million QUBIC each epoch. after 3 years, I'll get my initial investment back in US dollars. But buying up at these prices, it's going to take a lot longer. But I think QUBIC's going to do phenomenal. So the fact that you can just hold the coin that pays you back QUBIC, and then also too, you can mine QUBIC for free. And if you hold QUBIC, QMine too, you can come vote in the Discord. There's votes for stuff. But Eco's doing everything for the community. Like, he's buying more miners, and then when Dogecoin goes live, that's going to be even more bullish. He's got the Bitcoin mining going, which is buying and burning more Q mines. So he's going to do a lot with the miners. And then the community votes on what he's in charge of it, but the community votes on what Eco does because he's the man in charge. But yeah, you just hold it, bro. You don't do anything once you have it in your wallet. But I think it's for passive income. If you plan on holding, for me, QUBIC's a long-term play. I don't think AGI is going to be here for a couple of years. They're saying 2027, but I don't think that's possible. I think it's going to be later. So I plan on holding it for at least 3-5 more years. So it was better APY when I got in early for the price appreciation and the rewards than just staking straight up QUBIC. But if you have regular QUBIC in your wallet, you can always stake it. Do they not have the staking on here? All right. So the staking is at Q earn. So Q earn is where you come to stake. So I had my whole bag staked. I unstaked the whole thing to buy Q mine and Garth because it's 15%. So I had like 2 billion in there. So I was going to make 250 million QUBIC or something like that in 9 more months, taking that QUBIC and buying a bunch of Q mine. Oh wow, it's only 5% right now. Holy shit. Yeah, staking sucks right now. But again, QUBIC has passive income regardless. If it's a long-term play and you're holding it, to not stake it, huge mistake. Huge mistake. Get it? That's right. Smash that like button. If you guys need help, go to Vibra Finance and book a one-on-one. And we'll sit down and get your portfolio straight, get a plan for you for the short term and the long term. So there's a big difference. In the coins I hold, some of them are for short term. And when things pump, those are where my profits are. And other coins I'm holding for the long term. So I don't sell my future short and say, all right, I'm taking profits on this and I sell 75% of my bag. And then 5 years later, that coin goes on to do another 50, 100x. And now you're crippled. You'll never be able to make that up again. So those are the opportunities that we don't want to avoid, the price appreciation, but the mistakes we don't want to make. And I'd rather be early than 1 day late. And QUBIC with Garth, the other project I'm involved in, the shill machine is now live. Every time you make a post that tags QUBIC or Garth, you'll get 10,000 QUBIC right into your wallet. It hits within 15 seconds. So you make a tweet, but you have to be registered in Zealy and got an airdrop since December 3rd. I don't remember. I think I did. I got to check. But if not, I'm going to buy some QUBIC or buy some Garth for the next epoch. And then just sell the airdrop and then I'll qualify because I'm tweeting about QUBIC and Garth all the time. Why not get free QUBIC? I mean, it's not much, but you can get up to 1 million a day. So you can do 100 tweets. You do 5 tweets a day that have QUBIC or Garth in them, you make 50,000 QUBIC. So over a month, you get a couple million Like, that's a cool marketing pitch and marketing tool. So shout out to the Garth team for that. So Phoenix DeFi Hub, guys, an unbelievable thing to be in right now, where you're getting a ton of rewards that you can use to buy and pack your bag of Stronghold or VELO or Relio, and it's maintaining its value. You're not getting diluted against Stellar. So this thing is phenomenal. Now, Flare Networks. I can't say enough about Flare, guys. How bullish I am. It's the future. All of the XRP that's sitting dormant in wallets is going to come over to Flare, where it can be used. So XRP Fi, this is the future right here. And you're starting to see money coming over, but regulations are going to be the catalyst that bring the real money over. So right now they're going to open up a new vault. So once you take your XRP, you have it, you buy it on an exchange, you send it to your Bifrost wallet. You then connect to fassets.au.cc right here. You connect your wallet. You know, I use Bifrost, so I do Wallet Connect on my phone. It automatically connects. And then you come down and you click Mint FXRP. Mint F Assets. And then you come and you mint your FXRP. You need some Flare for gas. And then in your wallet, you're going to have FXRP. But honestly, a hack is you don't even need to do that. You can come right to SparkDex here, and you can come down. Oh, shit. It's not going to swaps. Here we go. And say you have your X. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, yeah, there is right there. Boom. FXRP and STXRP. These are the ones you need. So if FXRP, honestly, what you could do is you can, instead of buying XRP on the exchange, you buy Flare, you send it in, and you swap Flare for FXRP. And then you have the FXRP in your wallet. And then from there, you go to firelight.finance and you have to stake it and deposit into a vault. But they're full right now. But the good thing is they just announced that they are opening up a new vault in the very, very near future. I didn't think it was going to be until April. But they said that a new vault is going to come very soon. Cap 2 is coming and early stakers receive additional benefits. So there we go. They made the announcement on the 13th. And they're not talking about the one in April. That's almost 2 months away. So that's where your XRP, you mint it through the minter to FXRP, or you can swap it on SparkDex. Which I love this coin too. So I swapped a good portion of my Flare, about what's that? 20% of it I swapped into SparkDex, and I staked it right here. You turn it into XSpark, and then you stake it here into the dividends, and it pays you wrapped, or it used to be wrapped Flare, but now it pays you back Spark tokens and ST Flare. And ST Flare is staked Flare that earns passive income. So instead of it paying you back wrapped Flare and then you delegate it and earn your rewards, the ST Flare does it automatically. So I've been holding it. I've already gotten over 1,000 ST Flare since I started staking my XSpark on here. So ever since the market has turned like this, getting my coins into stuff that's paying back passive income, that's been my strategy, because we're at rock bottom. If XRP does what I think and goes to $100 plus, all these coins that it's bonded to, Flare, SparkDex, they're all going to rise like crazy. So I just think like on Phoenix DeFi Hub here, I have $1,000 in here. If I can get that up to $1,500 and then it does a 20x and gets to 30K and our ROI comes down to 25%. Well, now I'm earning $7,500 a year in rewards on just this bag. And then Flare. I have my Flare earning yield in the staking and delegating. If Flare can get to 50 cents and I'm earning, $1,500 a month, that's $750 a month. There's another $7-8 grand a year. So now you're talking about $15,000 a year in passive income. And then my SparkDex, right now, I don't know, what do I have? 30K tokens. So that's what, fourth of this. So $500-600 if that can do a 20x and get to 12K paying 18%, there's another couple thousand. So now you're almost at $20,000 in passive income from these plays. So if I can keep adding to them, and in 5 years from now, Flare can get to $1 and Stellar gets to $2-3 and drags Phoenix up to a couple bucks, and I'm earning, 12, 13 a day now, that's $30 a day. There's $1,000 a month. That now you're talking real money. So just positioning myself for when stuff starts to move, that's what you need to start doing right now, and getting in the habit of, all right, I'm building my pool of Flare and I'm using my rewards to buy SparkDex and then stake that. Or, I got my Phoenix and now I'm using my rewards to add to my Stronghold bag or my VELO bag. And that way you have new income. You can buy other coin, QUBIC or more XRP to wrap and put into Firelight, but just buying as much XRP now as possible, getting into that vault and never touching it and only touching the rewards. So in 5 years, if XRP goes to $100 and, right now you have $2,000 in there and it goes up 75x in value, now you have 150K and you're earning 5% on that. Well, congratulations. Now you're earning like, $7,000-8,000 a year on top of, you put $5,000 into these protocols and the 20K you're earning there. So now you're making $25,000 a year just from these DeFi protocols. Guys, that's how we're going to be living in the future. Like as jobs start to go away, crypto and DeFi, we are going to become our own banks, and they're allowing us to do that. They're going to incentivize to do that. Is there any videos on AI Garth? Yeah. Just go on YouTube, honestly, or just go to the QUBIC blog. I should bookmark this. Save a lot of time. So if you just go here to the ecosystem, there's a whole thing about AI Garth. AI Garth right here. So you can read all about it. AI Garth, it's their real AGI where it's going to be decentralized, and it's an AI that learns decentralized because it has data that users give it, and it's not stealing. So the oracles just went live this past week, and the founder, Come From Beyond's been working on QUBIC for 20 years. So yeah, check that out if you want. It's super cool. I'm invested in the Flare. Why XRP? Really? Why XRP? they're telling us why XRP. Right here. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Can you hear that video? I can't. I don't know why. But the next phase is for banks to have an option to say, I want to use XRP. So instead of the German bank holding Turkish lira, they would say, you're able to accept XRP and give me Turkish lira. Here's 100 versus 100 million XRP. And instantly that can be settled without having to hold balances. So basically, all the banks hold XRP, but they want to settle in 50 different currencies. They have the ability to do that instantly as XRPs, the bridge asset. So a bank in Vietnam is getting paid from Brazil in Brazilian pesos or Brazilian whatever. They need it in Vietnamese dong. XRP is that liquidity layer where they say, all right, take the pesos through XRP, comes out the Vietnamese dong. If they need Japanese yen, half the payment needs Australian dollars. The XRP ledger is where the conversion happens. And all the banks have access to all the different currencies in the world settling instantly through XRP. And it's going to happen. It's already set in stone. But Ripple is the one that built the XRP ledger. Ripple and the XRP ledger go hand in hand. Ripple came from the NSA. It came from our own government. Our government creates winners. Palantir, PayPal, Facebook, Google, Meta, Tesla. Well, not Tesla. OpenAI, Anthropic. All of these come from the government. Palantir, all of them. It's all who you know. So what the government can't do through policy, they do through creating public companies under the illusion that they're just these startup companies. So buy XRP, not Flare. So Flare is going to unlock all of the value for XRP. Flare is going to allow every bank and institution and exchange like Kraken that's holding XRP to earn yield on it. So Flare was funded by Ripple back in 2019, along with others, to build out the DeFi platform where all the institutions and exchanges would use. They couldn't rely on a third party to do this and screw it up. So they did all of this, and then they get this far and it gets messed up. So they have to have the right pieces in place. That's why they started and founded and funded all these different startups, because they knew once it got to a certain point in time, they're going to need them. So to me, I hold a lot of XRP, and so my Flare bag is about 30 times smaller than XRP, but XRP is my biggest holding, bro. It's over 6 figures in XRP. I'll just put it that way. So Flare, I'm trying to get to 500,000. I think XRP will do better than Flare, but I think Flare, if XRP goes up a lot, it's going to drag Flare with it because of Hart's Law and liquidity bonding. So I want exposure to all of it, because once these things start to take off and they go up and Flare is 25 cents, well, now that when I'm earning 100 every 3 days from the wrapped part, not even in staking, where I'm earning 1,500 a month, now we're talking some decent money. So yeah, bro, it is, because my 99% of my XRP is in iTrust Capital. So what I did is I had an IRA, a Roth IRA, since I was 16 years old. So I took 70% of that in 2020 and moved it into iTrust Capital. So I had a nice chunk to buy XRP with. So I was buying it from 18 cents all the way up to like 45, 50 cents. So I got my entire bag for like 20 grand. And now it's like, well, over 100, but it's not liquid. I can't touch that now. That's long term. So outside with like spending money and cash bags I've been building, I've been only able to accumulate 1,500 XRP that I have as FXRP or STXRP. So I've been trying to add more to those, add more to Flare, add more to Phoenix, add more PTGC, all the stuff that's going to be paying passive income, and like the stuff that was built for real DeFi, like the XRP ledger, like Flare, Firelight, all these things. Like I want to have, like, guys, if XRP becomes what we think it's going to be, and once they go to this new system, they're going to be using it until we're dead. Like we're going to be holding XRP and HBAR or Stellar, maybe QUBIC, one or two of these coins for the next 50 plus years. So I want to get my XRP in these vaults now so I never touch it. So even in 20 years from now, if XRP survives and it's at a couple $100, even now, 1,500 XRP at $200, what's that? 300,000? Or am I retarded right now? 200 times 1,500. 300,000. Yeah. So that'd be 300K earning 5%. So it's at $15,000. Yeah, 15K. So 15 grand a year just from my bag right now, that's worth $1,500. So if I double that, that's 3K a year. But in the future, I might just pay penalties and pull money out of my IRA. Brad Garlinghouse linked to Trump. Bro, Ripple, yes. Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse went down to Mar-a-Lago. Ripple is super involved behind the scenes. Ripple is the NSA, bro. Just think of that. So Jeb McCaleb was the one that was found. Ripple was founded by back in the day, allegedly. Arthur Brito, Jeb McCaleb, Chris Larson, and David Schwartz. Jeb McCaleb, look up his family and his history. And his family, if you look, is a banking family. So he all of a sudden left Ripple to start Stellar, and now he's launching rockets. He has his own rocket company, and he mingles with Elon. So all these people aren't organic people that just grew up and had an idea. They're all put in place. So, to me, I'm just going with my gut that everything, it's all about who you know. And that's why I'm so bullish on Stronghold, because Stronghold's working with a million online merchants right now. They built out IBM's private network to transact with stablecoins in 2018. They've been using it ever since. And where did Tammy come from? She was the first woman hired ever at Ripple. And the other founder, Jacob, was one of the first developers ever hired at Ripple. So what do you know? People from Ripple left to start Stronghold, a new startup. And magically, Stronghold, within a couple of years of being a startup, gets involved with the ACH, the automated clearinghouse, which settles billions and billions of dollars per day. You don't get tied in with them and merchant financing and real-time payments. It doesn't happen just a startup and 8 years later or 5 years later, you're working with the ACH, with the clearinghouse. So Stronghold, clearly something's going on there. So I've been doing research for 6 years now on this stuff, trying to figure out what cryptos are going to be the future. Which ones can we buy now and know in 5, 10 years, 15 years from now, they're the ones that are at the top that are being used around the world for certain use cases. Brito with Elon. I don't know about Arthur Brito and Elon connections, but I know back in the day, Elon had a conversation with one of his employee friends or whatever. And she was, I forget who she was. I was watching a stream with her and she was like, yeah, I met with Elon, years ago. And back then, and he told me to buy Doge and XRP. So I think Elon knows. I think there's something coming with X payments and Ripple or Stellar. But again, a lot of this stuff is where was it? Can you guys hear the videos when I play this? Can you hear that? But this is a really good video right here. And Jesse from Apex Crypto Consulting put out an awesome video today about Ripple and the SDR and the ESDR. Where was it? And he puts up right here. So the SDR was the IMF's special drawing rights. It came out after Bretton Woods, and it was built. It was put out to give liquidity in the markets, but only central banks could get that liquidity. And that's why it failed. It wasn't able to reach the economy where it needed to. Well, now they have the new electronic special drawing rights, which is the lender of last resort. And Jesse pretty much proved that it's XRP. And the IMF is telling us that. So if this stuff is right, which I can't find any research that it isn't going to be XRP. Like I search all the time for the opposite to this. Why is this wrong? Why are these guys full of shit? And it's all nonsense. No one has been able to prove and say, look, this is why it's not going to be Ripple because of XYZ. No one's been able to do that. So I just know XRP is a chosen one. Hedera is a chosen one. With Dr. Lehman, Baird, and Mance Harmon. These guys are absolute brilliant minds. They've been working on this stuff forever. And now you're seeing governments adopt Hedera. Banks are adopting it. We talked about the stream last week, how HBAR, their technology is being built into every NVIDIA chip and Intel chip. All of the information that those chips receive and send are all going to be processed and done on Hedera's, I'm not even going to say blockchain, Hedera's ledger. Because their asyntine bicentennialist fault line is the best technology out there. So Hedera is not even a blockchain. It can scale endlessly. And that's why the biggest companies in the world are signed up to use them. You're seeing CBDC pilots, carbon credits, supply chain tracking, Web3, as it's all coming to Hedera. And then the other one is XLM. If you look to see the guy at the DTCC who's involved with crypto and digital payments, he left the Stellar Development Foundation, the project he was working on with I forget the name of the project. They now, once he got his job at the DTCC, they chose Stellar to use as the technology because he was there and built the technology, because I'm sure he knew he was going there. Like, that's how these things work. It's all about who you know. All this stuff is planned out and coordinated. So I'm going with my gut. And every time I don't, when I listen to other stupid influencers, I get, bullish on some shitcoin or some nonsense that is never going anywhere. I need to follow your Twitter. Looks like spamming comments. You're good, bro. I'm here to answer questions, but I don't mind, honestly. Thoughts on XDC? I like it. I have a bag in my IRA. You know, it's not much. It's like 20,000 coins. So what's that right now? You know, $800, $700. You know, it's down a ton. I think it'll do well. They're tackling trade finance, which is a multiple $1 trillion industry. The only problem is they're not in the United States. That's what scares me. No, it doesn't scare me. XDC will do great. The only problem is they're not in the US. All right, what is this? All right, there we go. I didn't have it in here. It's not where I wanted to look. All right, where's... They had a made in the USA one. Made in America. So the fact that XDC is not on here, I don't like that, because I really think they're going to do something. Oh, wow. Venice Vector. I need to get more of this, or back into this. I know this. I knew this was going to happen. This coin launched at like $14, $20, dropped down to $3 forever, and then it cratered down under $1. And I forget who's behind it, but it's like the most powerful VC guys out here. So they're not going to let this fail. Website. All right, where was it? Where's the team? I guess they don't tell us who but it's basically just a VC AI coin. I knew it was going to pump like crazy because of who's behind it. Yeah, I don't know. And now it's frozen. And I just broke my computer. All right, whatever. And it's gone. Hold on a second. There we go. So, yeah, I like XDC, bro, but that's the only problem. It's not in the United States. VVV founders. Eric Voorhees. That's right. Vita Liberberti, David Hare, Mike Marcel Duchamp. But there's other people that were behind it that I recognize. So I knew it. I wanted to buy the bottom of it, but like I'd rather just load up my bags of Flare and Phoenix and these other projects that are paying me APY than to just buy some stupid, pretty much vaporware that I know is going to pump because of how VC funds work. not everyone's convinced. Eric Wall noting that this is basically bullshit. What do you know? Eric Wall out here trolling again. But yeah, see, like it was up to $22 and now it was under $1. That was the time to buy. I can't believe it's $4.44 right now, but I'm out of here. Need to eat. Yeah, bro. Appreciate you stopping in, asking questions, bro. I'm here to help. Honestly, you're never gonna be bugging me like I want to. I hear they got a freeze function like Binance. Well, who does? XDC? I don't think so. If you're holding XDC on the cold wallet, they can't take it from you. Maybe some projects have the ability to do that, like the XRP Ledger. They have a clawback feature for stable coins for certain projects that banks launch. It's part of the privacy that they need. But as far as like XRP, no one can claw that back. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Smash that like button. If you need help, book a one-on-one at Vibra Finance. We'll catch you on the next.
Yeah. Up in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Viber got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on a daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Viber Finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Viber Finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra's the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.